Today we're going to play with the golden ratio. The golden ratio is a mathematical equation, but it's also a tool we can use in art. To start, I have this transparency that has the golden ratio on it, and I want you to work with friends at your table to try to find if you can find a golden ratio in any of these pieces of art. So you can see in this wave here that sort of swirl is happening. So this is using the golden ratio. Here's something from nature that is quite obviously applied to the golden ratio. Here's a piece of art here, and I'm just kind of, ooh, there we go. I'm kind of moving it around and playing and seeing if I can find ways that it may or may not follow the golden ratio. So play with that for a few minutes. Then you're going to get a piece of paper that has the golden ratio printed on it. And we're going to be using collage techniques to create a piece that follows this rule. So you're going to need scissors and glue. You can cut or tear the paper. But for example, I want this piece of paper here, and I want it to follow that curve. So I'm going to cut a curve. And then I'm kind of laying it down and cutting it to fit that ratio. Now it's not perfect, but it's pretty close. And so I'm going to glue that down. Now you can make your piece about something. Maybe you'll just fill in, and then maybe you'll cut out from different magazine clippings. But I do want you to start by really focusing on getting a few pieces of the golden ratio filled in. So maybe I'll take this picture here. No, not that one. This one here. And I'm gonna cut it. So I'm kind of laying it down and cutting along where the line is. And then I know that curves. And it's okay if there's text in it. Just kind of pay attention to what the text is, and maybe you can incorporate that into your art. Aha, that's good. Now I'm gonna lift it up, trace around, and glue. And as I'm working, if I want to, I can take that transparency and kind of move it around and make sure that I'm following the golden ratio. Maybe I'll have this be a text area right here, where I'm just kind of taking it, and I like to lay it down and cut along where I want that to be. Pretty good, not perfect, but pretty good. And I'm gonna keep working like that until I've filled in the golden ratio with different pieces, and I'll time lapse you while I do that. All right, now I have the golden ratio filled in. So now I can look through these and see what pieces of paper I think just like look cool. I kind of like these. So I'm gonna cut it out based upon the image, and I can layer right on top. So some of these are from like sports magazines, some of them have pictures of people, some of them have pictures of art. There's all different types of things that you'll find if you looked through here. So you might lose some of that idea of the golden ratio as you're doing this, but that's okay, because we have that happening in the background. I think I'm gonna put that right there. I like the look of that. Think about the colors you're choosing. I chose two pieces that have the color red to create unity. Unity is when I'm doing something multiple times in a piece of art to kind of unite it, to bring it together. So you'll see that I used a lot of black and white. That kind of gives it some commonality. I used a lot of this same bright paper. It has similar colors in it, in that same red paper. And you're gonna keep working like that until you're honestly just happy with the way your art looks. Maybe your art is about something. I'm finding these little things that say hazardous, biohazard, that I think are kind of cool. So I'm putting those on. So maybe I will decide that my art is about that. But maybe your art is just about the golden ratio. And as you're finishing up, you can take that and look over top. Now, it's not going to be perfect, but you should be able to see, and you can see in mine, this swirl happening. And that is where the golden ratio is. So now that we played a little bit with composition, we're going to move into another lesson next week where we have a little bit more freedom in our composition, and we're creating a piece of art that's all about our own composition, not necessarily the golden ratio. So I can't wait to see your pieces.